So hello everyone, welcome to Sunya IAS. Now this is your worksheet discussion number 4 for the ongoing series of modern Indian history for Prelims Crash Course 2023. Now, in this lecture we are going to discuss about the issues regarding tribal and peasant revolt, and also the topic of cultural awakening in mid 19th century and later social religious movement which happened in India. So let's proceed without wasting any more time. What questions we have to discuss here is first question number 1: which among the following are true about the tribal societies in 19th century India? Farming was their main occupation. The practice of animism included worshipping natural vegetation, and pahadiyas were brought to Rajmahal Hill area by the British East India Company. Now, we know it very well that the tribals are hunter gatherers. Okay, so farming is not going to be the main occupation, so you can cut these options directly. Then the second thing which you need to know is the practice of animism included worship of natural vegetation. This is very widely known. Animism is actually a generic word. It is not only the tribal religion. Any religion which one doesn't have any idea, it's usually called as animistic. Even when the Britishers first came to India, they considered Hinduism to be animistic in nature. So this statement is right. The Pahadiyas were brought to Rajmahal Hill area by the British East India Company. No, it was Pahadiyas were actually living the original inhabitants of the Rajmahal Hill area. It was the Santhals who agreed to opt for farming, and they in between 1790s and 1800 a huge number of Santhals were brought from northern part of what we now call as Odisha to the Rajmahal Hill areas, and after this only you will see a inter tribal conflict also which started between the Pahadiyas and the Santhals. Okay, the third statement is actually wrong. Only the second statement is right. B option. Okay, so answer is your B. Next question. Which of the following enactments were brought as an act of pacification by East India Company to curb the Santhal revolt of 1850s? Santhal Pargana Act 1855 was introduced. This statement is right. I hope everyone knows that in 1855-1856 Santhal Pargana was made a separate piece of land on which Santhals were allocated land so that they can do farming, and it was also made clear that the Santhal cannot hand over or sell off their property to someone else. Okay, so that is also you have to keep in mind. In aftermath of Munda rebellion, Chota Nagpur Tenant Act 1908 was passed. So we know that very well that between 1895 and 1899 the Munda rebellion was led by Birsa Munda. Okay, Birsa was arrested around 1799 and died in jail, but the militancy, the guerrilla warfare continued to exist, and it only it ended only with the pacification steps taken by the Britishers. And what was the pacification step? The Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act, which was very much on the lines of Santhal Pargana Act, and the Munda tribesmen were also allotted pieces of land which they cannot transfer to any outsider. Okay. Now the third statement: system of Damine Koh was introduced to safeguard the Santhal community. Now Damine Koh is a Persian concept, and it actually means the bottom ranges of a hill. Okay, the slants, the last edge of the hills, these are the most fertile regions, and usually you will see a huge amount of farming can happen over here. But back in the day, you will see at the time of Mughals initially tried to get these people done farming so they can get revenue, but it was impossible, and so they considered this area to be Damine Koh, and Mughals decided not to intervene in the affairs of the tribals, and similarly tribals assured, or in a tacit understanding was found that they will not interfere in the ways, and the Mughals were ruling the Bihar 1573 onwards, 73-74 onwards. Okay, now later on, when the Britishers came, they didn't follow these commandments which Mughal system has evolved, and went on aggressively to convert the forest land into farmland, and that led to a huge amount of issues, crisis, violence from the side of tribals. Now ultimately Britishers also had to lay back to the whole concept of Damine Koh and devise it so that Santhal community could be protected, and also to make sure that more skirmishes don't happen between the people who were supported by Britishers and Britishers themselves and the Santhal community on the other side. Okay, so for this question, all the statements are correct, 1, 2, and 3. Consider the following statement. Tribal revolts were highly localized. Tribal revolts were extremely religious in nature. Tribal revolts were focused only against the British. Okay. Which of the statement are correct? The tribal revolts were highly localized. This statement is correct. We know it very well. The tribal revolt, it was not like they were some interconnected. Usually these revolts were economic in nature and has high sense of religiosity, okay, assigned to it. So, okay, so that you need to know. Tribal revolts were focused only against the British. This statement is wrong. It was against the British plus the natives who supported the British. Combinedly, they were called as Dakus, or many of your book call them Deku, D-E-K-U. That was anglicized pronunciation for the word Daku. Okay, and that is something you need to know. So here, answer is A. Consider the following statement. Peasant revolts had evolved sense of nationalism. Peasant revolts only took place in areas of permanent settlement. In 1860s, peasant took path of extreme radicalism. Okay, which of the statement are correct? Peasant revolts had evolved sense of nationalism. No, usually peasant revolts were focused on economic issues, and national sense of nationalism was usually not present or prevalent in the peasant revolt. Okay, so the first statement is wrong. Peasant revolt only took place in areas of permanent settlement. No, there huge number of peasant revolt also took place in the areas where Raitwari and Mahalwadi system was also applied. So second statement is also wrong. In 1816, peasant took path of extreme radicalism. This is exactly wrong, extremely wrong. And it was actually 1860 when peasant changed the path from the extreme radicalism to judicial participation in the judicial constitutional approach. Okay, so that you need to know. Fine. So the first and second is wrong. The third one is right. No, the third one is also wrong. So all of them are wrong. The D option is correct over here. Next question. Indigo revolt got support of Bengali intelligentsia. Deccan agriculturist revolt got support of Deccani intelligentsia. Paika rebellion got support of Madrasi intelligentsia. Okay. Indigo revolt got the support of Bengali intelligentsia. That is correct. 1859. It was Indigo revolt initially was violent in nature, but very soon you will see the Bengali intelligentsia, the so-called Bhadra Lok, came in support of the indigo farmers, and they only pushed the indigo farmers to opt for the constitutional route. Okay. Deccan Agricultural Revolt, you might have heard about Deccan Agriculturist Relief Act, which was actually passed in 1879 by Lord Lytton. So initially Deccan was also facing a phase of writings against the money lenders by the peasantry. But you will see here the transformation came in a very interesting fashion when Deccan Agriculturist Revolt got support of Deccani intelligentsia who were sitting in Nasik, Pune and Bombay. So the second statement is also correct. Okay. Now Paika rebellion actually happened in Odisha. Okay. And Madrasi intelligentsia was mostly in Madras, which was very far away. So they actually didn't got any support from there. So the third statement is wrong. First and second is correct. But I can assure you, if rebellion, the other rebellion, peasant rebellions, tribal rebellions which took place around Madras, the Madrasi intelligentsia also supported them so well. Okay. The South Indian, the Tamil intelligentsia surely did that. Okay. So here the answer is B. Native press was initially led by social reformers in India. In last decade of 18th century, Indian social reformers became active in Bengal. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was an ardent nationalist along with being a social reformer. Okay. So here, native press was initially led by social reformer. This is wrong. Native press initially was led by Britishers only, or the people who came from England and started opening newspapers in India. Whether it was James Hickey or others who started initially newspapers in India, all of them were English and not Indians. Although the natives, when they entered in the press industry, they started publishing newspaper, they mostly were focusing on social reform issues only. Okay, so first one is wrong. So you can cut this one and this one. In last decade of 18th century, Indian social reformers became active in Bengal. That is 1790 and 1800, in between this period. That is true actually. So second statement is correct. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was an ardent nationalist along with being a social reformer. Now this statement is actually correct. We know it very well that he had a sense of nationalism, and one can even call him internationalist. Okay, so that is something you should keep in mind. Fine. Consider the following statement. Keshav Chand Sen was active only in Bengal. This is wrong. K.C. Sen was someone who wanted to take Brahmo Samaj beyond the bounds of Bengal and even supported the formation of Pratna Samaj in Bombay. The first statement is wrong. The second statement, Debendranath Tagore provided support to establishment Pratna Samaj. That exactly I told you the first statement. So if you keep in mind, that was Keshav Chand Sen who supported the formation of Pratna Samaj in Bombay Presidency and not Debendranath Tagore. Okay, the second statement is also wrong. Raja Ram Mohan Roy brought Keshav Chand Sen within the fold of Brahmo Samaj. This is wrong. It was Debendranath Tagore who brought Keshav Chand Sen in the fold of Brahmo Samaj. And later on, when he saw that Keshav Chand Sen's ideas were too quick, too radical, he also removed him from the office. So all the three are wrong in the sense. The answer is D. Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar worked extensively for evolving Bengali grammar. The statement is right. We know Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar is also called as the father of Bengali prose. Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar provided access to Sanskrit education to non-Brahmin students. This is exactly what he did after 1850s, when he was made the principal of the college where he was first removed, and after becoming the principal, he introduced the Sanskrit language education for non-Brahmin students, as well as opened the Western scholarly text also for the students in the school who are from native. Now, this statement is right. Then, Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar played the vital role in passing the Caste Disabilities Removal Act. No. He played vital role in passing the Widow Remarriage Act. (1856) and not the Caste Disabilities Act. Okay, so the third statement is wrong. Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar opened school for education of tribal people. This is correct. He opened the school is Jamtara, which is present day Jharkhand. Okay, so the fourth statement is right. Option is D. Henry Vivian Derozio established the Young Bengal movement. A lot of students think the statement is right, but this statement is actually wrong. Young Bengal movement was a name given to the followers of Henry Vivian Derozio after a long time of his demise. When he was alive, he started debate club and gave support to students who wanted to have a freewheeling discussion, but he never came up with any specific institutionalized way to come up with Young Bengal movement. So the first statement is wrong. Okay, Young Bengal movement evolved the rationalist thought process among the Bengali youth. This is right. Surendranath Banerjee has also written about it. The second statement is right. Many members of Young Bengal movement became Brahmo Samajists over time. This is correct. Whether it was Anand Mohan Bose or other scholars also were involved, first with Young Bengal movement and later Brahmo Samaj. Okay, so third statement is also right. Young Bengal movement focused on discussion on ideas of enlightenment area only. If this only wouldn't have been written, this statement would have been right. But because of this only, they discussed on, since it was a platform for a freewheeling talk, the discussion happened on lot of issues, not only on the enlightenment issue. So the 2 and 3 only are correct. B option is the answer. Question number 10. Swami Vivekanand was inspired by the ideas of Brahmo Samaj. Swami Vivekanand focused on concept of Neo-Hinduism, and Swami Vivekanand decried caste system. So the first statement, Swami Vivekanand was inspired from Brahmo Samaj. This is true. Before going to Kali Ghat temple and meeting his guru, Swami Ramakrishna Paramhans, he was actually, his initial schooling was done as per the Brahmo Samaj rules and regulations. So he was inspired from Brahmo Samajist ideas. That is true. Vivekanand focused on concept of Neo-Hinduism. That was actually evolved by him. So surely he focused on it. The second statement is also true. The third statement, Swami Vivekanand decried caste system. This is actually wrong. He decried the whole idea of untouchability. Okay, but outrightly, and he also highlighted the ill behavior which is there in the caste system, but he never derided the whole caste system as such. The third statement is wrong. First and second is correct. That is the B answer. Okay. So I think so that will be all for this session. These set of questions must given you a kind idea that what kind of questions are going to be asked in the prelims 2023. If you haven't watched this video yet, please make sure you go to the platform. It's www.sunyaias.com and attend the session as soon as possible. And if you have any other queries, question, difficulties, please contact on the phone number. That will be all for now. Let's catch up in the next session. Thank you.